Welcome to Gadol, a strategy and finance game. We're going to show you what the game comprises of and how to play it. So the key thing is how to win. At the end of the game, you are aiming to get one of these contract cards that look like this. And the player that gets this card is the winner. And if both of you get it in the same round, then we need to have a look and calculate the points in a slightly different way to see which one of the two winners is the grand winner. And we'll come back to that in a little bit. The first player gets a little sign that says you are the first player, so you know when the end of the round is. The layout is like this. You have the board and you have each player has their own play area, and then you have the main board, and the cards are laid out in this format, and I'll go through the details of what this is in a second. Each team, besides the contract cards right at the top, which you're all aiming to get, you have your own hidden contract cards, so you can aim for those or for your own hidden one. So for instance, for the red area, this is your hidden one. Your components of the game are as follows. You bring your cards to your own area, and we need to look at a couple of things over here. First of all, as we've discussed, you've got the contract cards right at the top. This is where you're aiming for at the end of the game. That's your end goal. You need to go through your resource cards, these in the middle, and these cards are the ones that you purchase in order to get your contract card. You can move some cards into what we call an in-play holders. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But you need to buy your tokens before you get your resource cards, before you can get your contract cards. We'll take you through this in a second. And each player gets 10 coins. Instead of having the coins in front of you, we have a coin counter. You can see the coins here are all at 10. And as you take a token, you reduce your coins. Again, we're going to go into that in a little bit more detail. Your hidden contract cards. You can aim for one of the 4 contract cards that are put in the game that everybody can see. Each player will be given one of 2 hidden cards in their own hand. And they can choose one of those as the card they might want to fulfill. So everybody has a chance of fulfilling one of 5 contract cards. You only have to fulfill one to win the game. You can choose one of the 4 that are shown or the one hidden one that only you can go for. Everybody has the one that only they can go for, and that one is different for each player. This is the basics of the game. You are given 10 coins. You use the coins to buy tokens. You use the tokens to buy resource or product cards, and you use the resource or product cards to buy the contract card. And when you get there, you have won the game. Now, we're going to show you how this process works. When you play the game, you're allowed only one action. You either exchange your coins for tokens, or you use the tokens to buy a resource card, or you use the resource cards to close a contract, to buy the contract card, or you use your reserve managers to reserve a card. This is your option. So at the very beginning, your very first turn, you've only got 2 choices. You're either going to buy 3 different token colors. So if we buy, for example, the black, the yellow, and the purple one, you will have to give in 3 or pay in 3 coins. So you will reduce your counter by 3. If you want to get 2 tokens of the same color, then you are only allowed to buy a maximum of 2. So very important. You can choose either to buy 3 tokens, then they have to be different colors. If you decide that you want to buy 2 tokens of the same color, then you can only buy a maximum of 2, and you you change your counter, your coin counter accordingly. Please remember, in total, you will always have 10. You will either have 10 coins, your coin counter will be 10, or you will have 10 tokens and no coins, or the combination together will be 10. So if you have a look at the screen over here, on the left hand side, we've got 3 tokens, coins are 7, that equals 10. On the right hand side here, 2 tokens, your coin count is 8, that again equals 10. Please ensure that at any stage during the game, that total is 10. You can check it for your opponents as well, just to make sure that they are doing the right thing as well. Your aim is to use your coins to get tokens. You decide which tokens to get according to which card or resource card you want to get. When you want to purchase a resource card, like you can see over here, you have to match the number of tokens with whatever is on the face of that card, and that what's on the face of that card will be different for every card. So for this particular card, we're looking at the green property card. You can see that the first one, which has got a red token, there's no number next to it. You don't need any red tokens to purchase this. The green one with a building on it, you don't need any green tokens. But next to the yellows are 4, next to the purples are 2, and next to the black is a 1. If I wanted to purchase this card, I would have needed to, during the game, accumulate enough tokens to buy this card. And so, to get this, I would physically take this card and I would physically hand in 4 yellow tokens, 2 purple tokens, and 1 black token. I'm handing in 7 tokens to get this. I get this card, I keep it next to me, and then I up my coin count by 7. So I'm giving in the tokens and I'm getting coins back. And as you can see the illustration here, I go from 3 coins to a total of 10 because I've now handed back the tokens. But now I've got a green card. That card has 2 main functions. It goes towards helping me buy the final contract, but it also now acts as a permanent green token. In other words, if I wanted to buy another card and it needed a green token, I can use this card, but without having to hand it in. To highlight that, if I was buying the same card at a later stage in the game, and I'd already had a black card and a purple card, I would only need 5 tokens, not 7 tokens, because I've got 2 permanent cards. And in this particular case, I would hand in those 5 tokens and get 5 coins back. The permanent cards stay with me. If these were the only 2 permanent cards I had, the black and the purple, after this transaction, I've now got 3 permanent cards, which would now include the green one. When you buy a resource card, you can only buy the resource card from the middle area. So that area that is highlighted over here, you cannot purchase the cards that are in the stack on the end. The ones in the middle are in play. The ones on the stack is just to enable you to see which is the next one that is coming in. Any cards that have been moved to the in-play area. So to explain the in-play area, when it's your turn, you have the choice of moving a card out of the main play area and put it in on top of that card that says in play, and it allows you to move another red card, for instance, into play if I move the red card in play. So just a way of moving the cards. When you want to close a contract, you can see by the contract card, I need 1 red, 1 purple, 1 black, 1 green, and 2 yellows. And if you have a look here, I have 1 black card, I've got 2 yellow cards, 1 purple card, 1 green card, and 1 red card. So it looks as if I have sufficient to buy this contract. There is one added aspect. The number in the corner of your product cards, if you add those up, that has to equal or be bigger than the required number of product points on your contract card. And in this particular case, if we have a look at 0 plus 0 plus 0, so far it's 0, plus 1 plus 4, which is 5, plus 2, which is 7. 7 is bigger than the 6, so we qualify in terms of both the number of cards and the product points, and therefore we could purchase this one. Very important point. It is only cards that could be used to close the contract card, not tokens. The tokens are used to buy the product card, but the product cards are used, or the product or resource cards are used to close the contract. In this particular case, this is an example of where you would not be able to close it because the available product points are 5 and not 6 as required. Can you see over here? So in this particular case, I am close to closing it. What I'd need to do is go and buy another resource card or product card, and I'd need to get that card with a number on it, and it can be any color because I've already qualified with the colors. I've already got one red, I've already got one green, I've already got 2 yellows, I've one purple and one black, so I can get just any other card, but I need another product point on that card, and then I can close the deal. Not in the same round as I've bought it, in the next round. We also have reserve managers. What is a reserve manager? These are these little squares, and what you can do is when it's your turn, you can put one of these managers on a card that you want to reserve for yourself. When you do that, that is your turn. That's all you can do. The next turn that comes round, you can then, if you want, buy that card, or while you're still reserving at any stage in the game, that card is just for you to buy. When you buy, once you've reserved a card and you want to buy it, you get a discount of 1 token. So in this particular card, as you can see here, you need 2 red tokens and 2 yellow tokens to buy this one. If I want to buy it and I've reserved it, I can choose a discount of 1 on any of those. So I could buy this card with 2 red and 1 yellow token, or 2 yellow and 1 red token, however I want. And then you get your reserve manager back. There will only be one color on a reserve. Only one team can reserve a particular card. But if I have reserved the card with my yellow reserve manager, I want to reserve it, I put 1 block on, only 1 block. Then, when another team wants to reserve that same card, they can overtake me. They can give me my yellow one back, but then they have to put 2 on. I can then overtake them again if I want to, and I can put 3 on and take their 2 and give it back to them. And then they can go up to 4 by giving me my 3 back. But remember, every time you do that, you're missing a turn in the game. So you can reserve it, and then others can over-reserve it over and above you if they want to. The free trade token. The team that goes last has a little bit of a disadvantage because they're going last. So now they have an advantage. And the free trade token is their advantage. And the free trade token gives them one of 2 options. Everybody can only make 1 action when it's their turn. If you have the free trade token, you're allowed to do 2 actions. Or you can take all your tokens and coins and swap it with the other player, any other player. So you get theirs and they get yours. Once you have done one of those two actions, you must pass this free trade token to another player in the game. If you have taken the extra turn, you can choose any player to give it to. If you have swapped your coins and tokens with somebody, you swap it, but then you give them the free trade token. Just one rule with a free trade token: you are not allowed to give it back to the player who gave it to you. So you can't take another turn and give it back to the same player you got it from. And if you swapped all your coins and tokens with somebody and you gave them the free trade, they can't use that against you on that specific turn. Can never go back to the same person who it came from on that specific turn. One other free action you have is to move a reserved card. And what you can do then is, if there's a card that's blocking the game, you take it out of the game and you move it into the in-play area, and then you replace the top one with that. The 3 cards at the bottom cannot be reserved, and if the 3 places are taken up, you can put other cards on top of it. The card that is showing is in the game. You can purchase it, but you cannot reserve it. And if I've got a stack of, let's say, 3 cards, if somebody buys the top card, then the next one comes into play. And that is the game Gadol. I hope you have a fantastic time playing this. The name Gadol means big or great, and I hope you have a great time.